Hello, people. Welcome to the Techpoint Africa Podcast. Now, this is where we talk about tech, technology, and everything that revolves around our daily lives. So, lots of gists, lots of happenings, lots of conspiracy theories. And let's start with one, for instance. They said the BVN would soon expire. That was the rumor that came around sometime this week. And it got me thinking. It took me back to 2014, where I had to queue for long hours at First Bank in Edo State, Benin City, Edo State. But somehow the CBN is debunking that rumor. But here's what we found. It might not be a rumor. Jingo's found something.
Am I supposed to talk about that?
He doesn't want to be involved in the conspiracy theory. Of
Leo,
course.
let's start with the conspiracy. I know you didn't want to talk about that, but let's start with the conspiracy.
So I tried to check if there was actually a document that existed on the CBN website, and when I put in some keywords, I found a link that was supposed to direct me to the CBN page. When I clicked it, the message I got was, "This page doesn't exist anymore." So it doesn't exist or can't be opened, but it just couldn't open. And I've been trying since morning. Like, I've done it maybe, I can't count how many times, but at least 15 times since then, and with different devices, and I'm getting the same response. So I decided to use Wayback, the Internet Archive, and I found using that URL, I was able to check on Wayback. Then I found a doc that I think it should be question 10 that says the BVN expires after 10 years, but your BVN number is valid for life. So I don't know. They said if it looks like something and smells like it's probably looking like the CBN. Maybe they've changed their mind about how long it should expire. It should last. And they are, I don't know, it just looks like a poorly thought out something. I don't know.
Okay, so to be fair, the document is from 2015. So that was like a year. 2015, right?
2014.
2014. That document was from 2014. Okay, interesting. So that's almost 10 years ago.
It's okay to own up to a mistake and say...
When you can just delete it from the internet and pretend as if it never existed.
I don't know. This is, I mean, you're the regulator. We will not beat you. That's the truth.
Exactly. We
cannot
will not
beat
beat you. If you say, okay, we've revised this thing, people iterate, right? They change their mind. When you look at best practices and if this doesn't work, you change your mind. It's okay.
There's nothing wrong. I mean, it's not like you're committing a crime. So we are discussing it downstairs, and we're looking at it. So it's a number that's supposed to identify me. And yes, after 10 years, a lot can change. But rather than it expiring, customers should probably be required to update their information after a specific
period of time.
So it doesn't have to be an expiry issue. It can just be you updating it.
Like
so
you're single, now you're married.
Exactly. You've moved out of the country, or maybe you're abroad.
Now you're a girl.
Yes.
Like that.
Yeah, they happen. I mean, some of those very important. Maybe I did it when I was 18 and I'm 30 now, and my facial features are all different.
Yeah.
It'd be useful to update all of that so that, because I've gone to the bank and the banker was looking at me like, and this is something I did less than 10 years ago. So why are you, 2014? Oh, okay. Yes, less than 10 years.
It's 9 years.
This reminds me. Last time I went to the bank, before you do any transaction, I wanted to get a card, an ATM card, and I was told to go and confirm my BVN. So the man has them that smile.
Yeah.
So I think they snapped me while I was smiling.
Yes.
Maybe I was not in a good mood that day. And I said, okay, smile. And I was smiling. I said, okay. Oh, it's you. So those kind of things. Maybe if we are supposed to update it now, maybe I will be smiling.
Okay, I don't want to share my own instance, because the last time I saw my face from my VVM page, I cringed.
Could not believe it.
I mean, the banker's face was like, thank God for your life. Because I did not even understand what I was saying at that point.
A lot of people took those pictures after they were stressed. So you can't even, it's not like passport where you go on your best day.
Yeah,
I remember standing under the sun. Yes.
Thank you.
I remember standing under the sun that day and then going in, maybe all sweaty and all of that, probably darker than I usually am. And then
then your face stronger than it usually is.
Exactly.
It's fine.
I'm
It's
tempted
fine.
to say the testimony of how Nigeria has shown you shege.
It's something. It's something. But let's move on from that, right? So yeah, that was the conspiracy we decided to start with. Something interesting always happens in African policy space, and two countries I've been following closely since I joined Techpoint, Kenya and Nigeria. Almost every year, they always update their finance bill, so it updates fiscal policies. So the policies on taxations, they're always contained in the finance bill. So in finance bill 2020, the federal government was toying with the idea of taxing Google, Facebook, and other big tech companies. And I think I wrote an article about it then. I was like, okay, so the law allows you to tax Google and Facebook, but now what? What do you want to do? That kind of thing, right? Okay. You can beat, they say you can go and beat this guy, oh yeah, go and beat him. That kind of thing. So, but 2021, also 2020, 2021, they made some updates, tax breaks for SMEs earning less than 25 million in revenue annually. Naira, 25 million naira annually, did not have to pay tax until it got to that is incorporated companies. So, of course, I'm not going to go into that now, but Kenya just updated their own finance bill. Their own finance bill also contains provision to tax big tech companies, contains provision to tax the digital services market in Kenya. And I think they are making a few updates to that. Who's giving us that? Chingozi, right? Yeah. So, what's up?
So they are, I think the one that concerns a lot of people is the Kenyan government plans to tax creators, or digital content creators. So a part of the bill is going to begin taxing, like it's going to start putting taxes on advertising or advertising services. But the most interesting one for me is probably the content creator aspect. So, I mean, content creators have not, I don't know in Nigeria if they are taxed. Like, you are taxed for the money you make from, let's say, YouTube sponsorship deals, you or maybe endorsements, for example. I don't know if they are taxed on that.
Maybe there are no specifics. But I think sometime in 2021, the Lagos State, is it 2021 or 2022? The Lagos State announced that it wants to start tasking the content creators.
Okay,
but
so
the specifics were not there. We don't know what exactly they are going to tax. But
Okay, so yeah, I find it interesting, right? Depending on the kind of content creator you are, if you are the content creator that has kind of built a business around what you're doing,
your business will be taxed.
Your business will be taxed.
But now they have, like, let's say, classifications for the sources of income that can be taxed. So if you're making money from sponsorships, you're covered. If you're making money from affiliate marketing, you will be taxed. If you're making money from sponsors, you will be taxed. If you have a subscription, so maybe on YouTube, you have this community where people can
maybe a Patreon link or something.
Yeah, a Patreon link. You'll be taxed on things like that. So I've been trying to check if maybe there are other countries that have like maybe similar policies.
But
I haven't found any, but I may find more in my research. Because this can be, it's just embedded in one section, and finance bills, Kenya's one is like how many pages? It's probably going to be a bit difficult. And anyway, I don't know. I saw it and it was interesting because if I have a business and it's not now, I don't know how it's going to work. So if I'm a content creator and I decide to incorporate as a business, will my business be taxed as well as these sources of income? Like, I don't know how it's going to work.
That it's so weird. This is my issue with fiscal policy. Okay, unscripted idea. my issue with fiscal policies around the digital sector is, how do you even want to implement this? You mentioned affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing is so simple. You put a link to your product on your YouTube page, say an Amazon item.
Yeah.
And if someone clicks that link and buys from Amazon remits something to you, either through PayPal or any other form of payment. How is the government going to track this particular? Because if it was brand sponsorship is actually straightforward.
You just get
invoices, right? Then you add VAT and add other things to it. But affiliate marketing, what of AdSense revenue?
I think AdSense is covered. Maybe for affiliate marketing, it's probably easier. Just as many. So that now I don't know if the government has the time for this, because it means for every content creator, I need to go and check how are you making money. I need to know how every content creator in the country makes money, because not everybody will report that we make money from all of this. So I need to go check how all of you are making money. If it's affiliate marketing, for example, I need to start checking how many links. So, for example, I go to your YouTube page and I see a link, and I have to go and check, okay, this guy is signed up to Amazon, he signed up to one of that platform. Okay, send me your Amazon.
I have to do that for hundreds of creators.
That's the problem. And not just hundreds. So YouTube says, there was a report, I think, a few years, just last year, Kenya has a good number of YouTubers like on the platform. Can't remember the exact figures, but I think it's the highest. Yeah, I think it's the highest in terms of just numbers. But there are a lot of people who are creating on YouTube from Kenya. So you need to, and are monetized.
I remember one from my trenches days. There's a Gamba, God bless you. Yeah, she runs a YouTube channel for transcription, and she gets sponsorship from some of these transcription service platforms, or a writing service platform like Grammarly, right? So those are the kind of sponsorship you see with creators. My own is, do you want to start looking for these guys one by one, or is there a way?
AI that.
Okay.
This might be where the government begins to use AI.
No, I have not even.
I think I've left the Kenya finance space, fintech space, and I think you should take it up. I've left it for some time. I used to pour through. You said the finance bill is long. It's very long, but I used to pour through it when I was actively reporting on Kenya and all the stuff that we're doing. I registered with KRA.
Okay. And
after registering with KRA, I wanted to be able to track updates on KRA. That is the Kenya Revenue Authority. It's like Nigeria's version of Kenya's version of FIRS in Nigeria. So I registered with KRA. Then 2 months later, they were sending an email to Techpoint to come and pay tax. They were sending an email to my boss. And my boss was like, what are they talking about? We don't have an office in Kenya. We don't have an establishment in Kenya, but they wanted to tax because at that time, Kenyans are reading Techpoint. After Nigeria, it's Kenya. Kenyans read Techpoint, right? So is that going to be the case? If I have a YouTube channel now and I have an audience in Kenya, are you going to tax me?
Yeah, because
you said let me just say.
No, I mean those are
the way African governments come up with rules and procedures or policies. They just sometimes they even lift it from other people's acts or laws and just bring it.
Why are you subbing? Use your heart button.
I'm not mentioning any names. I mean, so sometimes they don't think it through and all the processes that you have to go through to effect them. So
I don't know. Is it that they don't think?
I don't want us to overthink
or they don't.
You should not overthink this
because count another 2 years, you will see them revising this again. Every market.
Kenya is on a roll. They are seriously trying to increase their tax.
Yeah, they want to bring more tax revenue.
I would love to see how they want to.
And depending on how it goes, you could set is it standard now or benchmark for other people to.
So let me run over this. Call me this layman who doesn't understand how fiscal stuff works. But my understanding of tax is like a contractual obligation. I pay my tax, and there are some obligations that you are supposed to deliver to me. Basic stuff, right? I'm not asking for arm and a leg. Healthcare, for instance, very basic. Roads, for instance, very, very basic stuff. Security, very basic. But it always seems like most African governments and even some intellectuals want us to pay our tax and not complain.
Yeah.
And just watch them do whatever they like. So in Kenya, in Nigeria, in Ghana, wherever you are, if you are paying your tax,
you want to see.
I'm meant to see returns, right? Yes, you should actually pay your tax regardless.
It's your statutory obligation.
Exactly. 2 wrongs do not make a right. But is there a system to actually hold the government accountable for what they do with taxpayer revenue? Because there are many systems that no, this is interesting, right? If FRS is coming up with a lot of technologies to try and help track taxation, right? They don't want.
We've not received love letter anywhere.
Oh, don't worry. No, it's a crazy thing. See, MTN and some of those other guys are one of the biggest taxpayers, right? The telcos. They actually want. They don't even want to rely on what MTN is reporting to them or Airtel is reporting to them. They want to actually integrate their system into MTN's system so that they're tracking the revenue in real time.
You don't feel like giving.
You don't feel like okay. Is there anything that we can use to track how you are spending taxpayer money? Accountability should go both ways, isn't it? All right. All right.
Unfortunately, they call the shots.
They call the shots, right? It's fine. So, yeah, this is my opinion. It does not reflect anything on Techpoint or any other person associated with Techpoint. It's my own opinion. Come and look for me.
Or anyone associated with him too.
But you can also look for them because they're the one that brought the story. And our script writer, so she's the one that wrote the story on the podcast.
Her name is Gracious.
Yes.
She's fair. Don't worry, once you go to the website, you'll find it.
Congratulations from Techpoint. How many? Please. So, talking about accountability, right? Last week, we heard that Treepz was pivoting. Treepz is this Nigerian startup that started as a bus hailing company. So, I've always found the concept of bus hailing as very, 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 very interesting. I've always found the concept. And it looks like some companies have found a way to make it work. Short last, but Treepz looks to be pivoting away from that model, and you were being dragged last week. So give us the lowdown on that.
Okay, so I think we'll start from the pivoting aspect. So, like you said, they are moving from bus hailing to a car sharing model. So car sharing is like car rentals basically. But imagine you have a car, and I have a website or an app or something, and you list your car on my website, and Emmanuel is coming into Lagos for 7 days, and he just comes here, he sees your car, and he hires it and uses it. So for Treepz, I spoke with Onyeka, the CEO, and he said, Onyeka Kuma, and he said they've been testing something like this for more than 18 months with their B2B partners. So they provide buses. So a lot of companies want to transport their employees. So they've been testing it with these guys, and they've seen that it's generated a lot more revenue than actual bus hailing for them. So according to him, the catch was that these guys didn't have to rent. They didn't have to buy the buses. They could just rent. So it generated more money. So having seen it working for the B2B customers, they decided to try it out for the B2C customers. So what we saw last week was the launch of the B2C aspect of that business. So now you can start with your questions.
Okay. Nifemi, your questions.
Car sharing. Car sharing.
What the hell was car sharing? But go on, please. Sorry.
So I don't know what's wrong with my voice. Car sharing, right? Reminds me of a startup that we found out that shut down. Each, right? Because Onome, you remember? That was the model, car sharing, and
not necessarily. So each was more carpooling than car sharing. Yeah.
So
I think you should explain.
That's see what I was talking about in the
how different
car sharing, car rental.
So the thing is, car rental is like the umbrella term for where car sharing falls under. So if you check your dictionary, you see car sharing like what your parents did, or hopefully they did when you were kids, where they would drive. Let's say we have 5 families here, and we have one child each. One person will drive all the kids to school. Like you just share one car instead of everybody going. That's what you probably see as a dictionary definition. But the business guys will define it as: I have a car, and I have a car, and my office is just down the road. So I don't drive it always, and it's lying there. So I list it on a platform, or I put it on. I list it on a platform, and whenever someone needs a car, they hire a car. It could be it's usually hourly. So unlike rentals where I can get into Lagos and rent a car for maybe a week. This is usually hourly. So if you check the Treepz app, for example, you're going to see per day, like the prices are put there per day. So you go on the app, you choose a car, maybe a Toyota Camry, and then you drive it away. So carpooling now is we are all working in Ikeja, and we live at Surulere. So all of us will go with one person's car. So that's like the difference.
No, okay. Now it's clear. I think what comes to my mind is the security concerns.
Okay.
Or before that, the protection on my asset if I'm listing my car on the platform. So we do not, our trust level in Africa, especially to tech solutions, is very low, very, very low. And this is kind of skepticism that will arise whenever we think of solutions like this. Who protects the asset?
Okay.
Is it insured?
So typically, that's what happens. Like, you insure that vehicle. Like the service provider insures the vehicle. So if anything happens, it's on them. Like, maybe the car is damaged, it's stolen or something like that. It's usually on them. But interestingly, I saw I can't remember the name of the company, but it's in the same business, but in South Africa, and they shut down briefly. But when I checked the website, there's a message there saying we're shutting down because we've had issues with insurance. And it had me thinking, if these guys have these issues, yes, there aren't a lot of car rental or car sharing guys on the continent, but could it be a major problem that anybody would face? But yeah, it's not clear. So when I was trying to check, the car sharing industry is still growing. It's not like something I think carpooling is more popular for Africans than car sharing.
I think I would love to see how successful it can get, right? But I feel whenever a business is high risk, it should be high returns. How much are they planning to make from this business?
Nobody knows how much they will make.
How much for maybe per hour?
Per hour, 30,000 naira.
Per hour?
Sorry, not per hour. Per day, 30,000 naira per day.
Okay, so I'm imagining, let's say I want to do Uber. I rent a car from Treepz. I use it to do Uber throughout the day. Will I be able to make 30,000 naira? I'm just thinking out here. Side hustle thoughts. Maybe if I can be doing Uber on Saturday.
Well, you can't register it. You can't register another person's car on Uber.
Yes.
Angle.
And you can't get the same car every time you go to the platform for car sharing. So.
Okay, so just normal taxi.
Oh God, this guy is criminal minded.
Nobody's restricting what you can do with the car.
But that's the thing, right?
No, by the time I'm going to use it to do Uber, the wear on the vehicle is different from someone who will just say, okay, I
need
live
this to navigate around for mobility.
So those are the challenges.
So the concerns.
In a case like this, like you mentioned, I don't think it's a venture level business. I don't think it is, because investors know why they invest in fintech. Fintech can give you mad returns. Like, look at the numbers that Team Apt or MoneyPoint declares every few months is insane.
Easy to
No, like even for let's leave them. Look at the smaller ones who are telling you that they're processing about $1 million monthly. Right, it's still not like Team Apt level, but it shows you that there's some potential here. But for car sharing, a lot of the things I'm looking at is you need, like what Treepz is trying to do is that they're building the tech platform. So if I'm getting into South Africa, a car rental platform can just upload cars to Treepz in South Africa, and people can rent out the cars. But I'm looking at it, you make 30,000 naira on all of this. But for you to actually have a serious business, you have to insure these vehicles. If you insure these vehicles, yes, we have these like
pay as you use
insurance. But even if you use that and it's significantly cheaper, you'll be using a significant part of your money to do that. Who is taking care of fuel in the vehicle, right, for the entire time? Am I taking care of it? If I'm taking care of fueling the vehicle, then yes, it's fine.
It's the person that comes to rent the car.
You want to drive it.
So what happens in a case where I total the car? Who bears? So like, especially the insurance, it could.
Insurance is like,
it could make or break the business. Actually,
yes, that's what protects you from anything the person that's using your assets is going to use it to do. That's what protects you.
And nothing I'm looking at is the market itself. How big is this market? Personally, I do not think the market is too big because for you to rent a car, you have to be at a certain income level. That's the reality. You are not. I will not rent a car for 30K, except I have business that absolutely needs.
Oh, that's true. If I want to do normal taxi, I don't need to spend 30K.
I don't need to do,
I said you want to drive yourself.
Like, even if you want to
like
drive.
If I want to drive myself, I'll spend 30K.
Where do you want to see the car you want to drive?
That's it.
When we reach that bridge, we'll cross it.
But if I use public transport, I probably will spend maybe, let's say 7K for all the trips I have to do. So, there's a certain income class you have to be in for you to use a car sharing model. And we are seeing Nigeria's middle class shrink every day.
Is there middle class? Okay, well, leave that talk.
It's a different debate. But we are seeing it shrink. Other African countries are suffering. We just talked about Kenya, which is one of their markets. Kenya is trying very hard to raise government revenues. I don't want to believe that businesses are doing any better than the government. Because sometimes, a lot of the time, you're actually a reflection of the macro environment. Same thing with Uganda. Uganda is not one of the richest African countries. That's another market they play in. Ghana, the president was begging for money just a few months ago. Sorry, Ghanaians. But every market that they operate in, everybody's collecting hand, as you say in Nigeria. So what guarantees do you have that you will not collect hand? And it's not just Hitch. A lot of guys have entered this market and they've shut down in the last few years. There's Hubride. I'm seeing a lot of people spring up these days, but you can't find websites for those guys. So I'm now wondering whether they are not more like taxi companies that are using the internet. They call themselves ride-hailing, but I call them taxi companies, just leveraging the internet. So how sustainable is this? Shortlast mentioned that they had issues when they got into the market with the Abero guys, and then they carved out the niche. Yeah. But Treepz, of course, you will not have that problem. But man,
I just wish them the best. Because I don't have an issue with them pivoting, right? Even if they have to pivot 5 times, they as long as they want to get something right, I think they should continue. I hope this doesn't even ruin them. I hope they get out of this alive.
Yeah, I'm actually rooting.
But then my counter to that is that importing whatever works in the West.
You guys should hold a mic, sorry.
Never really works in.
Yeah,
in Africa.
Yes.
Exactly.
There's a larger car.
Of course, before they say they want to go with a model.
You can tell us what you just said now.
Oh.
So
okay, so I said that they can study the car rental markets in other countries, like in the US, in Europe, all of those places. It's not a new thing. Car rental is not a new thing. It has been around for years. You get a lot of these car rental places. They get maybe you rent a car here in Lagos. You can get the car in Abuja. You can submit the car in Abuja. You rent a car in Abuja. You submit it in Lagos. It's just a matter of, okay, will this model work? How can we tweak it? That sort of thing. I know Nifemi said that yes, importing things from outside Nigeria might not always work, but
I also think that for them to say this is what we are pivoting to, they would have done their own work, check the global, probably the global evaluation of this particular market and see how much it's worth globally before they say they want to pivot to it. But I don't think that saying that it works in the West is going to work in Africa
So
because there are a lot of things going on.
yeah, so the thing is, it's not that you are copying and pasting like some governments do. You are adapting it. So Nigerians know how to adapt things. So think of Paystack. When you think Paystack, you see Paystack as a Stripe of Africa. It might not exactly be like Stripe, but they've adapted it to the Nigeria. Nigerians know how to do that. Everything, even Christianity, we adapt it to our market. So I think I get what she's trying to say. But to add to that, I'm saying maybe we should not think about it from the angle of startup in the sense of venture-backed startups in the West. You should think of it as a solid business that is making money.
And that's the problem, yeah?
They don't have to be scaling.
That's the problem.
You just need to be profitable.
You've already gotten venture capital.
Exactly.
You don't really concern us again.
Which investor do you want to do? You want to turn into a traditional business?
So
like
that's
no
the
returns
thing.
for you
can
to
do
further
that
notice. Like
and
give me
you
10
will.
years. Let me build this business before you get your returns.
So even if you're making money, right, you can have a solid business that is giving you maybe it's giving you like. So one of the things Onyeka mentioned is that Treepz is self-sustaining in Nigeria and I think one other market, and that's what they are gunning for, right? But I'm not interested in self-sustaining as a VC. I'm interested in making mad returns.
You have to scale.
People should not worry about the VC. They will be fine.
Are you
They'll be fine.
Are you Onyeka?
No. See, the thing is, if they're able to build a very, very massive physical infrastructure, they can actually scale this eventually. But I get what you guys are saying. Who is going to give them the time to actually build
all
this?
the money?
This is already 5 years.
They can do traditional funding.
If they do this and it's self-sustaining and it's profitable,
They
can
can
be
raise
expanding.
And before it becomes self-sustaining,
They're fine. Don't worry, they're fine. But yeah, let's move on. We've dwelled so much on this topic. But guys, let us know what you think about the pivot that Treepz is making. I don't see it as a negative thing, as I've been saying on social media. But that will require you thinking at it from not just the perspective, my God, from the perspective of startups, but also the perspective of running a business. And yeah, they've raised money, so God will help everybody. Yeah, so Nigeria's House of Reps is investigating telcos. A very, very weird story. I wanted to vex and do something immediately, but I was working on another story. So I'm hoping somebody does something. If not, I'm going to drag somebody again. Yes. Nifemi.
Okay.
Your name is in front.
Yeah. So, yes, it's a weird story because it's like, okay, the legislators are saying the Nigerian telecommunications regulator is not doing their job. Like, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to help Nigerians connect, especially people that are in underserved areas, but you are not doing it. So the House of Representatives is now saying that we want to investigate what you've been using money to do. Like what you've been doing, we want to investigate it. Why are rural areas not connected? What is going on? And that is what they want to investigate. It's weird in another sense because we don't really know what they are looking for, right? Because if they say they are not connecting Nigerians, they should be able to look at smart phone penetration or internet penetration and see the way it has risen in Nigeria since 2001 that mobile telecommunication started in Nigeria, right? So you should be able to look at the progression and see that, okay, more people are getting connected. I'm not saying it doesn't matter that mobile phone penetration, for instance, is not as much as it is in the rural areas as it is in the urban areas, which is normal in any society that has larger or more exposed urban settings, right? So, but I don't know what the motive behind this is, but it's okay. We've given you fund. We don't feel what you've done account for that fund. So we want to investigate what you are using the money to do. So Emmanuel, who do you want to drag?
Okay, so this is an interesting thing, right? The story dragging them for not connecting rural areas for me is funny.
Mm-hmm.
But when you now bring in the leg of USPF, the Universal Service Provision Fund, that is where things start getting interesting.
Okay.
USPF was like done a few years ago. I'm trying to remember the exact year it was done. Yeah, 2007. It has been existing since 2007, and it's like a special initiative to connect rural areas. So there's a reason why initiatives like this exist. There's no business case for the MTNs, the Airtels, the
To
main
go
ones
to those
places. There's no business case most of the time. Yeah, you might have people running solid businesses in those places, but are they enough? Do they even need as much internet connectivity as the city dweller?
Mm-hmm.
The person who is probably running that nice big Gary business just needs a phone call that works, right? Maybe not a smartphone most of the time. They may not be able to keep up. So a fund like this was meant to spread initiatives that will bring people to the internet, to rural areas, to remote areas.
See, the another way I'm looking at it is it's supposed to, maybe the fund is supposed to be to incentivize
Private sector
telcos to move
to those areas. So, but this is how many years now? 2007 till 2017, 10 years.
About 12 years, I think.
It's,
Is my math
16.
correct?
it's almost 16 years, yes.
Okay.
That is how weird this. That's why I said the story was weird. The USPF fund, right? A lot of ministries have been part of this, and they've probably. This is a fund that is running into billions. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think like 65 billion naira that was moved into this project. So let's say Nigerian government, say Ekiti state government, remove right of way. The private sector is thinking, okay, they remove right of way. Should I go? If I go and bring this infrastructure, what will be the returns look like? But if the government is already incentivizing me to go to those places, I would go. But most of the time, and I'm saying this from discussions with experts that I'm not privy to say in public, they don't want to be quoted. In this particular USPF fund, a lot of messy things happened. A lot of go and bring your money first.
Something the fund that's supposed to help them.
So,
for instance, now like satellite companies, right? They're supposed to provide internet. They're supposed to rival Starlink, right?
They're supposed to be like main benefactors of this fund. But are they giving them? Are these satellite companies accessing this fund? Right.
Yeah.
So yes, maybe you don't have enough money to give main one to lay fiber all the way to those rural areas, but those satellite internet companies,
they're the ones that are supposed. Now I get it.
Good.
It. But then 16 years is like how many tenure?
That's 4.
4 tenures.
So what are you talking about?
I'm trying to say that why have they not been keeping them accountable?
That is not a question for us to answer.
Yeah. Do you want us to look for somebody in the House of Reps so I can talk with?
I don't mind because this is a going concern, as they call it. It's something you should like you do AGMs for companies. It's something that you should review every other year.
Yeah.
But now that you say you want to, in fact, the current director of NCC,
Dambata, yeah.
Yes. How long has he been there?
Since I can remember.
Yes, as long as 16 years.
I'm not sure.
Definitely
no.
not.
And I'm sure I'm not very sure of the documentation of of government parastatals.
Okay, let's keep a pin on this. Go and investigate, then come back with more informed perspective on these issues, because that USPF fund thing is bigger than we think, and it's going to be a big issue if we start exposing people's cupboards, there are skeletons in the cupboard. But yeah, that's an interesting one. The government is basically saying, hey, you guys, we approved the fund to get to rural areas. What's happening? They said we should do electronic transmission of results, and we're still having the issue of
Here we are.
yeah. So let's keep a pin on this. So yeah, Gracious, please remind us. Let's come back to this, even if we forget. Well, we shouldn't forget about this. Then, yeah, a lot of things happened in the tech space this week. Zimbabwe launched their gold-back digital currency. Boli did an explainer on it. So if you need to understand all there is to know about the Zimbabwe gold-back digital currency, so just check out that article on Techpoint. And Google I/O, my people, I love Google for what they do most of the time.
I remember I was on this table when Apple did, what's it called? Apple.
WWDC or something. Yeah, what happened to them?
And I remember that Emmanuel was there analyzing all the features. But now Google I/O, my people, I see you. I know what's going on here.
What do you mean?
It's nepotism.
It's not. No.
No, okay, we're out of time.
Yes.
Okay. No, well.
Okay. Yeah, but see, Google makes you feel innovation, not. Okay, you guys took it from here to here because here was
Dynamic Island.
No, Nifemi, let's leave this alone. But this is how I see Apple. Apple already has really, really great products that the average person does not really need more. So in each iteration, they will just add a little jar.
Change the position of camera.
Exactly, that kind of thing. But Google always feel like they want to outdo themselves, right? Samsung is also settling. To be fair, Samsung is. I'm also a fan of Samsung too, but Samsung is also settling into that pattern of okay, they've already done what's the average person does not really need that much again. Just add something. At this point, if you buy a flagship phone, you'll be wondering what to use your money to do at some point. Because we're like, okay.
It's not different.
Okay.
As the Gen Z say, it's not giving what it's supposed to give.
It's not giving.
Oh, you have to bring that.
Yeah. Though, yeah, Google I/O, interesting announcement. They've integrated AI features into the workspace. So if you go to Google Docs, instead of looking at the blank cursor staring at you and thinking of how to start, you can just write a prompt and it starts the article for you. Google Docs. It can help you draft emails. It can help you do a lot of things, right? So, and Pixels probably is not my word, the words of more respectable reviewers. It's probably the smartest smartphone on the planet, Pixels. Yeah, it's not my word. But in terms of raw power, you're not going to be getting the best from Pixels, trust me. And the Pixel Fold, I don't know what they were thinking with that price. $1,800. I don't know what they were thinking about.
And I can use and play game.
What are you talking about?
I mean, if I spend that much money, I will drain the life out of it.
No. If you want gaming, you can get way more powerful for way cheaper.
Don't mention the brand.
I'm not going to mention the brand, but you can get way more powerful. The iPhone 14 is actually a way more powerful phone than that Pixel Fold.
Don't you say you're not going to mention brand?
Okay. The Galaxy Z Fold.
He's a closet Apple fan.
How now? Wait, you've accused me of being a Google lover and an Apple fan in the same podcast.
No.
Okay, let's move on. What are the other things we are supposed to talk about today? Yes, my people, the Lagos Startup Expo. Like, yes, the only real fan
that you are.
Is the Lagos Startup Expo, right? It's happening very imminently on May 20th. And we've had a number of amazing sponsors and exhibitors already and ready to show you the amazing things that are happening in the world of technology. And technology is anything that solves your problem as far as I'm concerned. So they are going to meet people that will solve that problem that you have with payments, that problem that you have with your art. How do you want to even monetize your art in the age of technology? You're going to be saying things like that. And yes, are you guys hurrying me up or what? Okay. So yeah, you're going to be saying amazing stuff. Digital transactions, online transactions, saving your money for really important stuff. You're going to be learning a lot of these things. And if you're not talking with them at the exhibition, you also be talking with them at workshops, various workshops to address some of these pain points. And we're also having a VIP masterclass. And I can release one to you right now. We're going to show you how to raise funds close funding when nobody wants to invest. And we're bringing an investor, a managing capital at the top. What am I saying? Managing partner at a top venture capital firm to come and take this masterclass. So if you haven't bought your VIP ticket, please go and do that fast.
Go to LagosStartupExpo.com to register.
Good. So shout out to all our major sponsors so far: Cartonic, Anchor, Cardify, Raknida, Grey, Art School, Maple Rad, Octa FS, Technic Technologies, and Identity Pass, and more of them are coming in. They are really, really big, even bigger guys.
I want
than
to say something.
All right.
You will get a lot of merch. But seriously,
you can actually clear your wardrobe.
We are the hosts, right? So I have shame, but I can assure you that if you are attending that event as an attendee, because of course you have to also register to attend free of charge. That is if you are not if you are not interested in the masterclass. But I can bet it with you. Like, just imagine moving from one exhibition booth to another. You know,
they are teaching this about attention.
I'm not teaching them. You know the way startups are very generous with merch.
I'm sorry, there's a funding crunch. You might not see plenty.
Not with merch. Let's bet. Not with merch. So I hope to see you there. If you see me, please hola.
Yeah. Don't embarrass me, I'm shy. All right. Thank you, people. All right. So see you guys in the next one. Bully is not yet to do Google Podcast.
Yes. Recently I met a podcast fan.
Oh, okay.
Right,
cool.
that listens to it on Google Podcast. The name is there. Please, let's do a shout out to him. I hope I
can't see the name.
You can. You just have to. We have to do this.
There's the name.
The name is here. Shout out to people who comment on our. The name is not there.
It's not there. No, don't worry. I will look for it. You don't have to cut this part away. Don't worry. I will look for the person. Yes, Damilare Oyekanmi. Shout out to you. You recognized me, although I felt embarrassed because I'm shy.
Of course.
But thank you very much for always listening. He's a very, very consistent listener of the Techpoint Africa. Why are you adjusting your shirt?
I want to talk about my dressing. I mean, come on. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Oh, for our audio listeners on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, and everywhere else you get our podcast from, Emmanuel is putting on what's this shirt called? A suit without the tie, like the complete set. A one-piece suit without the tie. So
it's business casual.
Just imagine it in your head. Yes, business casual.
Is it black or blue?
Well, if you like the look, let me know, okay? All right, thank you.
Okay, you're proud. You're proud.
Imagine.
Okay, don't imagine. Go and watch the YouTube video. You can find us on YouTube, Techpoint Africa. You find all our videos. But stick with us on audio too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Bye, people.
Bye. This is so awkward.
It is not. I'm happy. I'm cringing and happy at the same time.